Good morning, I'm Raine Musñgi and welcome to Follow the Money. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. Living with a disability not only brings physical and emotional challenges, but also presents financial hurdles that can impact an individual's future security and opportunities. Today, we'll talk about how accessing the right tools and solutions can mean the difference between financial strain and stability or prosperity. We're joined by Vince Rocha, founder and CEO of Mylo Speech Buddy App, to discuss how innovations like his are transforming the lives of differently abled individuals, helping them thrive financially and in everyday life. Vince, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Raine. Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. Well, can you share with us all about the Mylo app and what inspired you to create this Speech Buddy app, and how many users do you have, and can you share with us what the demographic is like?
So, Mylo Speech Buddy is a speech development system for children with autism and speech delay. So, it is an innovation that is really close to my heart because the reason why we made this is because of my son, Noah, who was diagnosed with autism and speech delay at the age of 2. So, when our doctor told us that my son has autism, the feeling that we felt during that time was anger. I blame myself, I blame my wife, I blame my genes. So after the anger, we tried to find the right intervention. And it took us 1 year and 6 months to find the experts. So that's the challenge that we have experienced. Upon launching last July 2023, we already have more than 60,000 users globally in more than 60 countries. So that's where we are currently right now.
And if I understand correctly from what I've read, that Mylo Speech Buddy app can actually target or address certain communication needs starting at 0 years old.
So, correction on that. It's starting at 2 years old. The reason behind that is because we really follow our doctors. Our doctors told us before, Vince, you cannot let children below 2 years old use a mobile app. And that we recommend that our users 2 and above can only use a Mylo Speech Buddy. And yes, what we do is we start from the most basic words that are used at home, so children can start at least communicating with their parents. Mm-hmm. Just to give you a concept on that, when my son was younger, he cannot even tell me that his back is itchy. So when he learned how to point and how to tell us that it's itchy, it was already a big improvement because that's less tantrums for us as a family.
And we're actually showing you some video right there of what it's like to actually interact with your app. But how does it address the specific communication needs of individuals targeted by the Mylo app, and what has your success rate been like?
So we're using the methodology called video modeling. It has been existing since 1980s. It has been proven effective as well. So video modeling tells us that we should focus on enunciation and repetition. So children can actually mimic the mouth movement and the sounds that we're making. Success rate right now, we have already seen results coming from our users. We have plenty of videos being sent to us by parents already that in a matter of weeks' time, there are already visible changes. But of course, we also have to be transparent that each and every child has a different level, has a different pace of learning. So some may have results as early as 2 weeks, but some would take months before they can say words. But with proper intervention and consistency, may mangyayari, may magagawa tayo.
Right, and I know that we will tackle the startup portion of this particular app, but in terms of financial impact, how do speech and communication disabilities truly affect one's long-term personal finance and career prospects? And how can apps like Mylo Speech Buddy help change that narrative for those children, for those individuals?
So financially, hindi siya biro. Financially, we're spending around like 30, 40,000 a month for the therapy sessions. Uh, and this is something that we really need to have so our children can develop their speech, can develop their behavior as well. So this is something that we have to be ready on moving forward as a family with a child having a special needs. But then again, that's the reason why we made My the Speech Buddy. We wanted to make it available to everyone, even while waiting before and after therapy sessions. In terms of career, it's also very uh, challenging to manage. Why? Because it requires a lot of time for parents. It requires a lot of time for us to provide support to our children. But then again, through actions that we're doing, there are improvements that we can see from our children.
Right, and you did mention how much it costs to for these interventions and to help the differently able. But in terms of the career trajectory, for example, of the individual, without interventions like these, what would it be like for them? Plus, what about government or private institutions or other kinds of support organizations? Are you receiving enough of them, enough of their help and assistance?
Okay. So this is actually a very interesting topic because we have seen we have seen individuals with autism that had grew up at around 30, 40 years old, and they're already managing their own teams. It's already possible for them to function and work already. So having diagnosed with autism is not i- it's not a death sentence. So with proper intervention and with proper assistance coming from the schools, coming from the parents themselves, children can grow up to be individuals that can contribute to society. It's possible. Now, with regards to the government has been there. In fact, very happy to see that there are very fast movements with DepEd right now. In fact, we were already blessed enough to meet with them, hopefully to have some projects to help kids with special needs, specifically speech delay, moving forward. Right now, I think there's a very strong trust coming from Secretary Angara in terms of growing digitalizing uh, innovations for SPED and general education. So for yeah, so that's those are the things that I'm seeing right now with regards to the government support. We're seeing more and more movement right now, which is I am very thankful.
Are there gaps that we're supposed to fill up even further?
I think right now there are already programs in place, but
All right, Vince, I think we lost your audio for a second. Can we try again? Hi, Vince, can you hear us?
hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Right, better. Thank you so much. Yeah, you were about to say
Okay.
gaps that need to be filled perhaps in the support system and the whole of society kind of way.
Okay, so we are seeing more and more improvements. We are seeing more and more supports coming from the government itself. In fact, the digitalization right now coming from the Department of Education is something very evident, and they're adapting to digitalization quite fast.
Right. Meanwhile, if we move on to the startups kind of perspective, you developed this as an entrepreneur because you're answering a personal need. Do you see other families with similar, differently abled children also making their entrepreneurial starts this way?
Oh, it's very nice uh, to see a lot of innovation happening right now. In fact, uh, here in the Philippines, there are already innovation, for example, for Filipino Sign Language. A company is called TurpCap, and they're trying to digitalize Filipino Sign Language so they can serve more people. There are actually a lot of innovation happening right now to serve the special community, and there has been innovations happening here and there. But then again, one of the challenges that we experience is that investors see us as charity, but in fact, we're real businesses. In fact, we're real profitable businesses already. That's serving a very niche but very rewarding cause.
Well, I won't put you on the spot by asking you how much profit has been, but we know that startups in the Philippines are booming with a 50% increase in funding rounds in 2024 compared to previous years. What potential do you see for Mylo's Speech Buddy to grow both regionally and globally in this competitive startup ecosystem? How many users are you expecting to reach, and what kind of engagement will it mean for the end users?
So I'm happy to say that right now, this is a challenge for startup communities. But in a year time, we're already positive cash flow, which is I'm very proud to be as a startup company. With regards to the total number of users, total number of downloads right now, we are targeting 150,000 at the end of the year. And what we want to happen is not only serve speech delay. By end of the year, we will be launching more apps to serve more disabilities. That's our goal. And moving forward, we're also localizing content to different countries. For example, we will be starting to film Nihongo content for Japan, Mandarin content for Taiwan, and for other countries as well. So we're not only solving the challenge in the Philippines right now. What we're trying to solve is a global challenge. What we're trying to solve is help. What we're trying to help out is a global community of awesome children and children with disability.
Which is good to see, and which is reason why a lot of international investors and venture capitalists have been knocking on your door to be able to help support you. Now, are there challenges that you foresee making the Mylo Speech Buddy app accessible to users? And maybe how about reaching some rural areas or those without access to advanced technology?
So when we started this, our main goal was to make it available. If you can access Facebook, if you can access TikTok, then you can access Mylo. So that's our goal right now. But then again, we're also starting to develop Mylo Speech Buddy to be available in smart TVs, and the content be downloadable as well through different channels. That way, we can serve more children. And with regards to the investors globally, there are some interest. There are some interest coming from international investors and from local investors as well. In fact, we're very thankful to be part of Arise Plus Game, which is an accelerator program that we currently won in for the past few months. This was made possible by DTI and European Union for the accelerator program. So with these programs, this actually gives us a lot of exposure, which we really need as a startup company.
And we actually met Vince through Startup Village. Thank you so much for that, Carlo Calimon. But we'll be back with more ideas from Vince and the Mylo app after just a few reminders. Follow the Money is taking a quick break. Back in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still with Mylo Speech app founder Vince Rocha. Vince, of course, in 2023, support for differently abled individuals in the Philippines was cited as insufficient by several advocacy groups. How do you envision Mylo Speech Buddy fitting into a broader ecosystem of support, including Of course, you mentioned government and NGOs and those with speech and communication challenges. We know that intervention isn't just one way, it isn't just therapy.
So so for the past years, it was indeed we looked at it as insufficient support for us. But what I'm personally seeing right now is there are already huge trusts in terms of getting more and more intervention available to each and every child, especially those who cannot afford. I was just speaking to Department of Education for the past weeks. And they're already looking at improving innovations and support for differently abled people.
What about the
Uh,
DOH, for example, health hospitals or government hospitals?
so as of now, we haven't tapped the government hospitals yet. But for Mylo Speech Buddy, there are already interest coming from private institutions, especially coming from my son's doctors. There has been talks already for our app, our solution to be available with private institutions. On the other hand, I think one of the ways to further provide a solution to everyone is to streamline the total number of differently abled children for the whole Philippines. Because if we know the right number of children with disability uh, for the whole country, we would know the right intervention we could work on.
Okay, all right. So there's not enough data. Is that what we're
Yes.
maybe a better survey of what kind of population we're actually dealing with when it comes to disability? And so, is there a role that you see technology and AI playing in the future for speech therapy and communication development, and not just this particular disability, and especially in low-income and developing regions in Southeast Asia?
For technology, yes. Streamlining data analytics and getting data from the total number of differently abled people is something that we could work on already. With regards to AI, I think this is something that we should need to really thoroughly review and ask the experts' opinion, especially the doctors, the speech therapists, and the occupational therapists. Because as of right now, I understand that they could already generate high quality videos using AI, but it's still different if they are receiving lessons coming from the teachers themselves. So AI, I think, is not yet possible as of the moment. Maybe we need to consult more with the doctors themselves. But technology and the standardization of data, I think it's already something that we can use.
Vince, earlier you mentioned that you have been satisfied so far with the kind of support that you've been receiving as a family. But as a founder, what has been the biggest challenge in getting support for your app, whether financial, technological, or regulatory, perhaps, for Mylo Speech Buddy? And how have you addressed those barriers?
Yeah, with regards to financial support as a startup, there are a lot of activities coming from the government. It's just that right now, Milo was fortunate enough to be noticed globally in the beginning. There are a lot of private institutions, specifically, for example, Startup Village, who's giving us support to cover more market, who's giving us support to expand globally as well. The financial challenge is something that we experience, but then again, we have to look at it as an entrepreneur. As a startup company, we have to aim for positive cash flow as soon as possible. Same as with any other business.
You mentioned earlier that in terms of expansion potential, you plan to scale the Mylo Speech Buddy app into other disabilities, to target other disabilities. Are there particular disabilities that you are going to roll out, or you're looking at rolling out immediately? And what are other future developments or updates that we can expect from Mylo Speech Buddy moving forward to ensure that it remains at the forefront of helping users improve their communication skills and ultimately their life prospects?
Rain, so by the end of the year, we will try to launch Mylo Occupational Therapy Buddy and Mylo Physical Therapy Buddy. These are the things that my son need as of the moment. So this is the challenges that we wanted to provide solutions to as of the moment, and we will start there. Uh, Moving forward, what we want to happen is really to expand our services not only for autism and speech delay, but to cover the other disabilities as well.
How much support, like how much does it cost to roll out an app like yours, or at least, expand or scale that particular, expansion possibility? How much support would Mylo require in that respect moving forward? And are you in consultation with certain practitioners, experts, doctors, to be able to ensure that the app progress of certain individuals is actually according to medical standards?
So this is something that I'm very proud to say as well. Currently, we already finalized a partnership with 101 Health Research, and we're doing a systematic review of Mylo Speech Buddy. So before, we were just taking recommendations and consultations coming from our doctors. But now there would be already a research backing Mylo as a company, and not only the video methodology, but video modeling methodology. So with that question, this is something that we take seriously. This is something that we're really working on to get the right methodologies and the right science behind what we're doing.
Correct. And in terms of particular amount that your expansion will require?
So the research alone would cost millions. With regards to expansion, filming contents, for example, would cost around it would cost around 3 to 4 million pesos to provide a new level of content and new apps. Not only for having an app available and a content available, but launching it, making it available to people, marketing it. So that would be the standard cost for a startup company, more or less, to work on a properly released app technology.
Still lots in store for Mylo Speech Buddy app, but we know that as you see your son growing, you're also going to see all the progress and all the developments that your app is about to change, apart from changing the world. It's all about empowering those with disabilities and positively affect both personal development and their financial future. Thank you so much, Vince of Mylo Speech Buddy app, for sharing your insights with us. We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.
Very much.
And before we go, we leave you with this quote from Google's chief internet evangelist, known to be hearing impaired, while being one of the fathers of the internet, Vince Cerf. Accessibility is all about removing barriers and providing the benefits of technology to everyone. And that's it for today's edition of Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Thank you so much for watching, and keep it here on BNC, the Billionaire News channel, always on top.